What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. You know who this is. It's the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight, well, we got another bald and beard beautiful man coming on. He's the EWA commissioner. He is Osama Hussein. We got a lot to talk about, man. EWA has been doing some amazing shows. I'm not going to lie. Every show has drawn some amazing crowds. We've seen some amazing action from some amazing talent. So get out to an EWA show. February 11th is the next one, and we're going to be talking about it very soon. But before we do, I need to take a quick second to tell you guys about Sleeves. That's SLEEFS, Sleeves.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, you need to go and check out Sleeves. They've got all your athletic gear and wear covered. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, headbands, boots, mouth guards, and much more. So go and check out sleeves.com. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Also, next, I want to just take a second to just say how the world of wrestling lost someone very special this week in Jay Briscoe. And this is just, a heartbreaking thing because I'm hearing and seeing so many stories about what he was like. I never had the opportunity to speak with him, but I know guys who came up with him, who wrestled with him on the indies over the years. And I'm seeing some amazing stories about him. So, thoughts and prayers go out to his family. As someone as well in the wrestling world, it's like another thing is people kind of like expect, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this with Osama, but I just wanted to say this. I kind of feel like if you're involved in the world of wrestling, to go and ask one of your friends to have a photo with you, you kind of look like as a mark or it's made a joke of or whatever it is. But, tomorrow's never promised, guys. So make sure you go and get photos with your friends. Get photos with people that you're on shows with that may have, been to the highest mountains and stuff and they're on your show. Get those photos because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. But anyway, guys, wherever you will find this podcast, please like, share, subscribe, give us a 5-star review and all that. But without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Osama Hussein, baby. And we are back on Shooting the Shit Uncensored with the EWA commissioner, Mr. Osama Hussein, my good friend, brother. How are you?
I'm very well, Piers. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to have you back on the podcast, bro. We had a great chat the first time around. And, when EWA hadn't even had its first show yet, we've seen 3 amazing shows that you guys have put on. First 3 shows drawing well into the hundreds of people. I think the second show hit like 600 people or something ridiculous like that. And they definitely bring the energy in those shows as well.
Yeah, man. Look, first of all, thank you for having me again. Keep up the good work, man. Honestly, we need someone like you bringing our product to life. You know what I mean? For the good, though, because, man, God knows that people fucking shit on, people shit on the wrestling a lot, so the more we can expand it, the more we can bring it to life. I say kudos to you, man. Well done.
Oh, thank you, man. I like Man, I do nothing. I just add a little bit of salt and pepper on the shows that I'm on. It's what the guys do in the ring and the girls do in the ring, I should say. That really the people in the ring, what they do, and the performance that they bring.
I totally agree with you, man. But without the salt and pepper, man, there's no flavor.
Very true, man. Very
You know,
true.
so,
But man, how's the time been? Running EWA. Like when we first spoke, you said you were going to run shows like pretty much every 3 months, and you've done that. You've stuck to that.
mhm.
Um, to be honest, I was blown away. I was blown away from the crowds and also the reaction, the setup. I thought it was great. I thought the venue that you guys ran at for the first 3 shows was amazing. It looks great. What is the next 3 shows look like for you guys going forward?
Thanks for that, man. Look, I'll be honest with you. It's stressful. It's stressful because when you start off like that, man, like you don't want to go back all the way down. You know what I mean? You want to either maintain where you are or you want to get bigger.
Mhm.
So we had KMC, the Orion Function Center. It was great for the first 3 shows, but we are going to now Hurstville. I think it's called the Marana Hall.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But
Good
that
venue.
I was there yesterday, man, and man, first time I walked in there, it felt like it. Do you remember ECW One Night Stand?
Yeah, bro.
Some,
That was at the Hammerstein.
yeah, so like it's something similar, man, because you've got the top where people sit on top, and then you've
Yeah,
got the
nice.
lower. Oh man, it was amazing, man. But going back to what you're saying, man, it's very stressful. Um, trying to put on a show where people are happy, where people like the product. And again, like it goes back to the wrestlers, man, guys and girls
100%.
that perform, yourself, the ring announcers, the referees, the music crew, just everybody involved to put on that show is like they get no credit. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
I think like the reactions and like from what you know the show brings, like I think that is a lot of credit to what the performers get and getting the reactions to a lot of wrestlers I know when they get that big pop or where they get booed or they get that reaction. As long as they get that reaction, they're happy,
Of
and
course.
obviously being safe and all the other stuff, which is a given, right? In a lot of cases, but
100%.
one of the things that I really enjoyed about the last show was the fact of the heel turn on you and Mick. Uh,
Mhm.
I thought that was something that no one really saw coming. Um, I thought it was like a pretty solid sort of effort. I thought it was great. Like I said, it was shocking. Do I think maybe it could have been drawn out a little bit longer, as in like maybe a couple of shows later, but even then I wasn't disappointed in it. I thought it was good. It
But,
made sense. Like it
but
wasn't like something
yeah,
completely, but it
but
was a shock.
what's the sorry to cut you off, but like, what's the point of dragging it on? You want an instant reaction. Nobody saw it coming because we had won the titles,
Mm,
last show prior to that. So nobody expected it. The guy
mm.
deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's a fucking human highlighter. The guy's got he's got no brains. All he did was bring me down. But what really, really triggered it, what really made me do that heel turn, is I don't know if you noticed, but the last show, Cruising for a Bruising, we come out at the beginning of the show and we cut a promo. I thanked everybody. I thanked my partner. I thanked everyone for being there and helping us support, helping us build this
Yeah.
company. And then he decided to bring out his little fairy princess. Mate, I can guarantee you he's getting none. That's for one.
You don't reckon he's getting any action?
Nah, man, because she loved it when I grabbed her by her hair and I pulled it back. She loved it. She wanted more of me. But anyway, that's beside the point. he didn't thank me. How do you thank everybody for bringing you into this company and not thank your best mate?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
That's what
It's
for me.
crazy, and I think that is like the story that it was told was so good in the fact that like her reaction, like
Hmm.
for someone like her who I'm assuming is not really been in the business before, I thought she was outstanding. She sold it incredibly well.
Yeah, well, without her, man, yeah, it would not have had that impact.
Oh,
You know
absolutely.
what
And
I
I think
mean?
that that's what draws the emotion as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
especially around like that sort of crowd where it's like they see someone grab a woman, they're like, "Hey, you can't do that." You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, yeah, I mean, it's stoic in a lot of ways for certain guys. Where I think like a lot with professional wrestling now is like women and men in wrestling. There's a lot of intergender matches, which I think is pretty cool. Like, if there's two good performers who can go and put on a good match, I'm all for it, man. To be
right.
honest, because it's like wrestling's wrestling.
Hmm.
If you can make it believe, you can make anything believable. If they can make Rey Mysterio beating Big Show, Great Khali, and Kane in a triple
Yeah,
threat, bro, you can do anything, and that's
yeah,
the beauty thing about wrestling, right?
that's right.
Mm,
That's the 100% right, man. But that's the whole point of it, man. Is like we're in a world where we tell our own stories.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like you and I can wrestle, and like for instance, we're given one, two, three, right,
mhm.
to do, and then you get another two blokes given the exact same scenario, okay, but it'll be two different matches because each one of us are going to tell a story differently.
Mm.
You know what I
It's
mean?
almost it's almost like in a lot of ways when I see certain things and see fans go, "That's bad booking."
Mm.
First of all, a fan doesn't know how to fucking book a wrestling show. I'm sorry to say that, wrestling fans, but you don't. Even yeah, I mean, like I thought were the same way before I was actually working on shows and I saw what goes into it, bro. Like the thing is, like a lot of things, people can have all these great ideas, but the thing is, like if a promoter, for example, and a booker, they have a vision for what these two performers are going to do.
Right.
They have a vision for it. Now, these both other performers that are coming in, they have visions of their own. So that's three different visions for the
Mhm.
same thing. Sometimes it's all connecting, right? Everything all meshes, but sometimes there's three different visions and people are on different levels. Not saying different levels as far as skill levels or
Right.
professional levels or anything like that. I mean different levels of where their mindset is at during that time.
100%, man. But and I hear this a lot, Piers. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, but that was bad booking," or that's a bad story. Or see, what people don't understand is that you need to try things.
Mm,
You literally have to try because you'll never know if you don't try it, right? So on paper, it looks amazing,
mm.
but once you put one and two together and they don't deliver, then you know that there's no chemistry between the two.
Yeah. And
You
I
know what I
but
mean?
I feel like sometimes like that can be judged on a performer as well. Like they could go into a Fed or into a company and right go, okay, you're welcome to our Fed, blah blah. You're going to be working XYZ. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. You go up to XYZ and you just might not be vibing with that person, or I don't know. Like, am I seeing this the right way? Like, please tell me because I'm not a trained wrestler, Osama. So you
No,
have to
no.
tell me if I'm
Look,
on the money there.
there's many factors that come into it. Okay, as you brought up, you might not like the person you're working with, right? And I don't mean personally, but if you walk into a company, right, and say for myself, right, I'm the worst wrestler on EWA, right? I don't know how to wrestle. I don't look good. I'm terrible. And then
No gear.
you come into EWA, and then you're put with me. Automatically, that's a turn off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just little elements that come into it that turns you off. Okay,
Mm.
but what people don't understand is you need to work with what you've got. You know what I mean? Like I remember Chris Jericho who was telling a story about working trying to put Fandango over. You remember Fandango?
I remember.
So,
I've heard the same story, but please tell it.
yeah,
Please
yeah,
tell it.
like and he was talking about where he don't want to work with him. He doesn't want to put him over. You know, so he had a little bitch about it. Then he went to the Undertaker, and the Undertaker said something about like, "Listen, man, you got to work with what you got and make it great." You know what I mean? And bro, the very next night, mate, it was pandemonium.
But I think as well, when you look at it on paper and go, right, you're going to go out on WrestleMania and you're going to lose to a ballroom dancer, Chris.
Yeah.
And that's Chris Jericho, who to me, I put him
Uh,
up there as
he's
probably
one
one
of
of
the
the
goats, man.
greatest of all time.
Yeah, he's one of the goats.
I refer to him as Dave Grohl of
Yep.
professional wrestling, who's been cool for 30 years.
Right.
Because that's the same with Jericho. He's been cool for 30 years. He's evolved his style, and the same with
He's
Dave
relevant
Grohl.
every time he steps out, he's relevant, you know. And but again, like if it wasn't for him, Fandango would not have been over.
100%.
You know, let's be real.
But you know what? Did you hear the advice that he gave Fandango? Because like apparently at one stage they were going to put the WWE title on Fandango, and he had like a concussion, or he had a headache, and he was like, "Oh man, I think I've got a concussion." And he went to Jericho, and he said, "Oh man, I think I'm concussed. Like they booked me to win the title, or like on the pay-per-view, like in a week." He goes, "What should I do?" And Jericho goes, "What do you? I'm going to tell you what you should do as a professional wrestler. Then I'm going to tell you what you need to do as a human being, as a person. As a person, go get yourself checked out straight away. As a professional wrestler, wait till you've won the belt. Tell them after you've won the belt, because after that you can go on the circuit, and you know what I mean, like the signings and the conventions, and you can sell the 8x10s with you with the championship belt." You know what I mean? Like, win the belt first. But he didn't do that. He went and told him, and then he never got it, because he said you may never get another opportunity like that.
That's
and
right.
he
That's
didn't
right.
have that, right? So that's kind of fucked up in the world of wrestling, though. Like, because it's like, well, if you're hurt, well, okay, man, you miss out. There's someone else to take your spot, bro.
Yeah, but that's the way it works, man. It's been like that from day one, and it'll never change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because that's the thing, man. Like the business just continues to move on. Like there's no one in the world of professional wrestling. Like, let's be honest, like in the history of it, people can leave and it's like, okay, well, the person has left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's still other people there. You know what I mean? Like they're stars because the company decided to make them a star and put a championship on them. As you know what I mean? Whereas like you look at someone like Bret Hart, who thought he actually won like an MMA contest or like, you know, a submission contest, and he was like the world champion of UFC. Whereas like he took it to that serious level because that's how he got brought up in that business as well, from his old man. So you can kind of see it from all avenues and all eyes, right?
100%. You know, and that's again, that's the world of wrestling, man. Everybody that is a performer, that is a wrestler, has to contribute, you know, to the product. And again, that's why the product is so well known worldwide, because you know you got your John Cena's, you got your Rocks, your Austins, you know, your Takers. Then you've got the guys who work better than them, who are 100 times better than them, but nobody knows. You know what I mean? And let's be real, it's who you know, it's whose ass you kiss, you know. But like a lot of people sit there and they bag Hulk Hogan out, right? They bag Hulk Hogan out, man. I love Hulk Hogan, mate. If it wasn't for him, mate, I wouldn't even know what wrestling is.
Yeah, same, bro. Like I think he revolutionized wrestling.
To me, he's the GOAT. He's the number one GOAT. Okay, because he revolutionized three eras. He did, you know, like the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s.
Did you ever see him wrestle in Japan? Like, have you seen his Japanese stuff?
Yeah, and he can wrestle, dude. Like the guy can wrestle.
And that's the thing. People always said, "Oh, Hogan was limited. Hogan couldn't wrestle." People said the same thing about Rock, and people said the same thing about Stone Cold. Stone Cold's best matches, believe it or not, were in WCW as Stunning Steve Austin.
That's
When
right.
he got to that level, he couldn't do that stuff. So he had to
Yeah.
adapt, and he
Yeah,
had that more
but
brawling style. And
why would you put yourself through all that?
Mm.
Like if you become a megastar,
Mm.
okay, and then you offer an X amount of money just to do a leg drop, just to rip your shirt off. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Mm.
You're gonna take it. You're
It's
gonna
called
run with it.
working smart. It's called working smarter, not harder.
That's what it is. And I don't
But
get why people are fucking just because you're angry at the world because of your shitty job.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Marks can fucking they can bitch about everything, and they will.
And you're 100% right there. And you see like Hulk Hogan and stuff like that, bro. There was so much money invested in that
Hmm.
it's like, why would you risk your cash cow going out there and having 20-minute barn burners where the crowd doesn't really give a shit? They just want to see him come out, hit the leg, the big boot, the leg drop, tear the shirt off, do the friggin' ear thing, and he's out, bro. Like,
But
you know what I
dude,
mean? Like, and they're happy. Send them home
yeah,
happy.
but that's what I was invested in as a kid.
Mm,
You understand?
exactly, bro.
That's
Because
what
like,
I wanted to see.
but if you saw a 20-minute technical like chain wrestling match with Hulk Hogan, and
Boring.
yeah, exactly. Like, you're not going to connect. And I think even The Rock, people even say this, people's elbow is the stupidest move in wrestling. Yeah, it probably is like this
Yeah,
sort of
but
thing.
when he pulls it off,
But you know what? He can
everybody
kill
marks
him.
for it.
Exactly, bro.
And
Exactly.
a lot of people are just they don't understand. And fuck it, to me, Hulk Hogan's a genius. The
Mm.
guy's a genius, man. He made so much money doing so little.
I
You know,
like. I think if there wasn't a Hulk Hogan, I don't think wrestling would be where
nah,
it's at.
I
No
really
way.
don't.
You know, like I like no offense to like Ric Flairs and Harley Races and Dusty Rhodes, like
Great.
they to me are
They're-
like the greatest of all time. You want to talk about that? Like, they are definitely like my personal favorites. Like, I love to watch that sort of stuff because I love that sort of style. But like kids and like casual wrestling fans,
Mm.
they want to see some entertaining shit. And that's why I always say, like, wrestling has to be like a buffet or a smorgasbord. It has to have special things, all different, that can attract different sort of types of people that want to watch it.
Let me ask you, right? Like when they talk about the Mount Rushmore, right?
Don't even don't ask.
Kind of like when people sit there and talk about the Mount Rushmore,
Mm.
and a lot of people bag out Hulk Hogan, right? Like they sit there and they shit on him so
But he's on
much,
every.
but yet he's on everyone's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he is the okay. You know what? If you're gonna look at Mount Rushmore, like let's put let's put overall as a draw, as a everything on the table, right? Hogan, Hogan probably drew the most money.
Yep.
Steve Austin, The Rock,
And Taker.
Cena,
Yeah.
Taker. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, who drew the most money? Who had the longest run? Like, you have to have John Cena in there, and people are going to sit there and give me heaps of saying that.
100.
Bro, he was around for 15 years. Hogan wasn't even there for 10.
Yeah.
Austin's longest run wasn't even 5.
Well, yeah,
Rock's
6 years, 5 years. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like
Rock's
for me,
wasn't
man.
even 10 years before he
Yeah.
was out.
For
Bro. He
me,
was in WWE in 96. He was out by 03.
yeah. For me, my Mount Rushmore: Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, and then you've got your Undertaker, and then just hanging up there is John Cena.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He's just hanging on, by a thread, trying to get onto that Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
But again, everybody has a difference of opinion.
I just think John Cena is the guy who has been around the longest. He's been
Yeah,
the most consistent, and it's
but
like,
he's drawn the most. You want to talk facts?
mm,
You want to talk, put bias aside. The guy outsold fucking Hulk Hogan. The guy's outsold Stone Cold. The guy's outsold everybody you can think of combined.
100%.
You know what I mean? Let's be real. So
Mm.
if we're going based on that, he's number one. He's number one.
Really? Like, I
No,
mean,
but I'm saying based on sales and tickets and merch, I
yeah.
don't think
I mean,
anybody that ever outsold him, man. Like he's mate, the guy's
it's fun.
got.
It's funny when I asked Rob Van Dam what it was like working with Cena because of like their infamous match at ECW, and he
Mm.
said people don't understand how fucking good John Cena is, and he said like we were in Wales and he came out and he was a babyface, obviously, and he got the biggest boo out of the whole crowd.
Right.
And then he was just like, you know what? That's what I love about people like the WWE universe because we come all around the world and you people paid your hard earned money to do whatever you like at these shows. If you want to cheer, you cheer. If you want to boo, you boo. And you know what? I just appreciate you all for coming out. And bro, he turned him just like that.
Yeah, man. But that goes back to how good he is.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because the guy's smart. He knows
yeah.
the go. You know, he doesn't sit there and gets all emotional because the crowd don't like me. You know what I mean? You got to work with what you got.
The thing
But
is, they care enough to make noise. And it's like if you're a wrestler and you're getting nothing from the audience, I think that would probably be the biggest heartbreak in the world, right?
100%, you got to go back to the drawing board. You know, but
100%.
anyway.
You know,
But we can talk
and
about
that's
that
the hardest
also
thing.
for another time. But yeah, um, shoot me another question, man. Like I love your questions, man. You come up with great questions.
Man, I'm just on the roll of having a conversation here, man.
I
But like,
appreciate that.
if we're looking at EWA, right? Who would be like one, like let's say two performers, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
would be two performers that haven't yet been to EWA that you'd love to have on your show?
Oh shoot! Put me on the spot there, man. One would be Birdman.
Mhm.
Phil Picasso.
Yeah, I know Phil.
He's that guy can draw. That guy's got one of the best gimmicks. No, I love you, Phil. No, but you know, we want to bring two, eh?
Yeah. All right. So
I,
Picasso.
I think honestly, man, I'd love to have the Eagle Brothers.
Yeah.
Don't know why, like it just in my head, I've kind of visioned, you know, what a main event I could kind of put together.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like for instance, Tyson Gibbs teaming up with Robbie Zuko against the Eagles brothers.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Four legends in one ring.
I reckon that'd be great.
You know what I mean? Just think
That'd be
about it.
exciting.
You know what I mean?
That'd be
That
really exciting.
yeah, like that'll get the whole of Australia talking.
Oh, 100% it would. And it'd be a great match as well because it's like four of those guys know how to work, know how to get a reaction. And that's where I think, like, I think Robbie Eagles is such a good baby face because it's like you see when his body language, when he gets in the ring and he
Mhm.
gets the thing, he gets the crowd behind him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, gets the clapping going, really gets it exciting. And I think that's where it's like, I think a lot of people can really learn from that sort of style of doing it because it's like if you're a baby face, there's certain ways of wrestling. I feel like when I watch wrestling, I've noticed it recently is like how a heel's wrestling style is and then how a baby face's wrestling style is. And to a lot of people in the business, that's probably like, yeah, that's just a thing. But for someone who's not trained and for me to just like
Mhm.
kind of figure that out on my own just by
Yeah, yeah,
watching
yeah.
and
I get you.
focusing like that to me is like, bro, I get it now. Like I get the different styles where people say you have to work as a heel or work as a face and I can't really explain it. If
That's right.
you know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah.
And I think for me, second as well. I'm a big fan of from VCW, Hudson Hawk.
Mm.
I he's one guy I'm trying to bring in.
You don't really see much of him or like many of the guys from VCW. Why is
I,
that?
I think they're very close knit.
Yeah, they don't work
Yeah.
other places. Because I think I met a guy at an All-Star show that was from there, Johnny Storm, I think he's
Johnny Starr.
Johnny Star, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
apologize. Yeah,
yeah,
Johnny
that
Star.
great guy, Johnny.
Yeah, he was a very lovely
Yeah,
guy. But I
yeah,
was
yeah.
just surprised we don't see more of him around.
Yeah, I think, like I said, man, they're very close knit. Like I know Vulcan. I've been on their show before. You know, had many conversations with him. It's more of, hey, you know, I'd like to come to you out of respect and see if I can book one of your wrestlers.
Mm.
Because I've got a main event in mind that I really want to do. And I don't want to say it just yet,
That's
but
all
you
right.
know, I've got you know, it's in the works. Put it that
Yeah.
way. You know,
That'd be pretty cool to see some of those guys rocking up to more shows anyway, I think.
yeah, man. Look, I'm easy, man. I'll book anybody if it's right for the company.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
like I feel like in a lot of cases, it's gotta be like it's like for me, I think in wrestling, like, and this is something that I've seen, I look at myself as being very fortunate to be on shows, to have that opportunity to be around. I don't I don't walk around and say I'm involved in the business or anything like that. I don't walk around at shows acting like using insider terms, going, "Hey, look at those marks out there." Like, I don't do that because I don't think I've earned the right to sort of like use that sort of lingo. But the
Right.
thing that gets me on certain shows is like, and tell me your opinion on this, is like people that aren't wrestlers that are involved in the business need to take the time to look presentable, right? Every show before I go and get my beard cleaned, trimmed, shaved head, pressed suit, nice iron shirt, nice fresh tie, shoes polished. And then it's like I see some other feds, it's like guys that have like half shaven, they don't look thing, their shirts aren't tucked or ironed,
Or
their
they're
hair's
wearing
long and
tracksuits.
messy. Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
if you as long it doesn't matter what you're wearing, you could wear a tracksuit as long as you look crisp, as long as you suit it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like if you're wearing like a tracksuit, make sure it's a friggin' top of the line Armani tracksuit or something like that, or something that looks stylish but you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
crisp. And that's where I
Look,
think like, what's your thoughts on that?
for me, appearance is everything. Okay, because how you appear is how people are gonna. Because let's be real, man. Like first impression is everything.
Agree.
You know what I mean? Like if I come to you and I'm dressed like a bum, you're not gonna take me serious.
No.
You know what I mean? If I come out and I'm wearing like a nice suit, nice watch, you know, you're gonna be like, okay, this guy's important,
Mm.
right? So I've got one rule for anybody that wants to participate in my shows, and I've said this to everybody, everyone that gets booked. I tell them if you want to be booked on EWA, you have to have gear.
Mm.
Okay, you have to have wrestling gear.
Do you see that
I,
on a lot of other shows that people don't have?
a lot of people have, a lot of people wear big singlets, jeans, ripped shorts, shoes, um, you know, like knee pads, and they look like they just put it together in the backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't do that, dude. I can't because people are paying to come watch a wrestling show. Okay, you are a wrestler. You need to look like a wrestler.
Mm.
Now I can get, you know, one or two. Like for instance, I got Cowboy Chris Abbott.
Mm.
Okay, the guy wears jeans. The
That's
guy
his
wears,
whole gimmick.
but that's his gimmick.
Mm.
Okay, but you telling me everybody has that gimmick?
Yeah, not everyone can. Yeah,
Come
not
on, man.
everyone
Like
can
it's
do
not,
that.
you know, it's not. So I tell everybody must have gear. If you don't have gear, you don't wrestle. I'll take you off the card.
Mm.
You know, you can call me an asshole, you can call me whatever, but my product comes first.
And that's where, like, even I was talking to Zuko about this. Like, he could be a guy who could wear jeans on a show, and it would be like
Yeah.
completely, you know what I mean? it fits the gimmick.
Hmm.
But he said once he got the tights made, he goes, because from a distance they look like tight jeans, right?
That's
He
right.
goes,
That's
but
right.
they're so easy to wrestle in. They're
Yeah,
not jeans.
but like I said, man, you know, you'll get one or two on occasion that they can pull it off because of their gimmick, right? Like for my gimmick, I can't walk out with a pair of jeans,
No.
you know, or ripped shorts, and you know, it just doesn't happen. So for
No,
me,
you have to look like if you're like a gimmick as in like the as a commissioner gimmick, or are you talking as in
no,
like
no, as a summer, like you
as
know,
in ring?
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think the in ring it has to sort of fit what the style is, and I think that it does work. A lot of the shows that I'm on, I don't see many guys and or people wearing like stuff that isn't gear. To be honest, like in the shows, maybe I'm just going to different shows and stuff, but like I kind of feel like that is the case in a lot of ways. Where you do see that, and I do hear that from time to time, so I can understand where you're coming from, and I completely get it, man. But I also think some people, you know, that are coming through, like some of the younger guys, like maybe they can't afford gear as well, but like get creative,
look,
get a sewing machine.
look, I get it, I get it. You know, not everybody is made out. You know, not has money and whatever. Everyone's got a different, you know, personal issues. You know, that's fine. But it's lazy. It's laziness. In my opinion, it's just laziness. Nobody wants to put the effort. You know what I mean? You
Well,
want to get booked.
it's
You want to wrestle.
professional. It's
But that's the
professional
whole
wrestling.
point. Like, you need to look like a wrestler. You know what I mean? What is wrestling? You go to a non-wrestling fan. You go to them. Okay, name me something about wrestling, and they'll tell you. Oh, men in tights.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
That
exactly.
that's wrestling.
Or in their underwear.
Yeah, yeah. But that's that's evolved through time, man. Like
Yeah,
again, like I won't allow 5, 6 guys on my roster wearing the same shit.
100%. Like,
You know
because
what
if
I mean?
you've got that, how do you tell the difference? I mean, how do you stand out? But even if
Exactly.
you're a wrestler, wouldn't you want yourself to stand out, like your gear to be something different than anyone else?
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, right? I play an Arab, right? Middle Eastern Arab. So my music, as soon as my music hits, people know who I am. As
Mm,
soon as I come out, I'm different
mm,
because I come out with the throbe. I come out, with my Arab gear, and it's the color, it's the cedar tree, it's the swords. It builds up on my ethnicity. Like it's
mm.
just, and a lot of people don't put the effort. You
But
know what I
that's the
mean?
thing. Like, even in doing that, like when you're wrestling as a baby face and you have that gear and that, on there with the cedar tree, the swords, everything like that, you're also then building your community, because like we are seeing like a lot of your community attending some of these shows, and like they're getting passionate behind it, and like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like that gives them like almost like, as a baby face, that's the hero. And then like now that you've turned heel, but turned heel on your best mate, who is also a major baby face in the company as well. Now it's like they're drawn, but they can understand, there's understanding the story between it. It's like, best friends that fight. It always happens, right?
Yeah, you're
So
right.
it's a believable story, but you've got two characters or
Mhm.
two people from that same culture, from that same community that are
Mhm.
doing it. So you're going to be having these people that are just going to be absolutely like rabid for it.
Well,
And that's where it's like
they're
you're
going to be
hitting that
divided, man.
emotional
Yeah,
connection. You're hitting that
that's right.
emotional connection. And that's what I
And,
think is missing sometimes in wrestling.
yeah, and that's the thing, man. People get thrown into things, and they think, okay, we'll go 2, 3. Let's do all this, and it just doesn't mean anything. Doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? You need to build. I'm all about taking your time and building a story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that for me is why people go home after a show. They talk about it and be like, okay, I'm invested. I want to see what happens next.
100%, man. And it's like, but I feel like a lot of the fans that we see at shows, they love to, you know what I mean? Like, I think like a lot of the fans that we see showing up at to multiple shows and stuff like that and supporting these different feds. I think that is some of the most coolest stuff ever because it's like, man, like some of these guys that are like coming and spending their money, buying a ticket, coming to the show, supporting these companies. That's what I really feel like is keeping Australian wrestling alive as well. Like, as we need, like that diehard audience is what, you know, we look for, really.
Yeah. Look, for me as a fan of wrestling, me as a performer, me as a booker, I mean, I can't thank the fans enough,
Mm,
right? Because without them, man, we can't do what we love.
100%.
Without them coming, we can't perform. We can't set up the ring. You know, we can't put on our tights and our boots and, you know, go out there and perform. You know, we get injured. We win championships. You know, we make friends. You know, let's be real. There's enemies, but wrestling in a nutshell gets overlooked.
It does. I
You
think,
know,
but also like, you know, wrestling gets looked at as almost like a different type of performance in a lot of ways as well, because it's like you see movies and you see actors and stuff like that. Like no one goes up to Al Pacino and calls him Tony Montana, right? No
right.
one goes up to like well, I don't know if they do. I'm not friends with Al Pacino or not, but like, you know what I mean? Like no one goes up to like, you know, someone who plays a bad guy on a TV show and actually thinks, oh, you're a real dickhead, right? Or someone who plays a biker. But
Hmm.
for wrestling, I feel like fans, if a character comes out and says something, oh, that person's a piece of shit. Like to take the
Right.
character away, like, do you think it's because for so long the business has tried to work the audience that now they're just like, oh, well, yeah, whatever, you just a piece of shit. So, like, I think a lot of them just build into that, right?
Yeah, but you know, that's part of it. Though, you know, like you're saying, you know, built in comes naturally. You
Yeah.
know, it's like me as a fan, man. I want to see uh, the good guy beat the bad guy.
Mm.
You know, because I mean,
I'm the other way around, bro.
no, no, but I'm talking
Yeah,
about
like I get,
a 5-year-old me. You know, 8-year
yeah,
old me. You know, let's like that's what I'm
bro.
talking about.
What's crazy when I was a kid, like, yeah, I was like, yeah, Hulk Hogan, but then I was like, man, what's this Roddy Piper about? I was
Yeah,
automatic. I always went into like the bad
different.
guys because that to me, I was like, fuck yeah, like just
Yeah,
to be, imagine to go out there and be an asshole to thousands of people and like have no
yeah,
repercussions.
yeah, 100%. You know, but going back to the fans, you
Mm,
know, we need a lot of support, man. You know, we need a lot of, and I'm talking about every wrestler out there. You know, go out there and bring in more fans.
mm,
Go to your local, go to your local football clubs. Go to your local schools. Go to your local. You know, I'm sure you've got friends that know people that coach. Bring them in. Give them
mm,
discounts, tickets. If you sell tickets for $10 for kids, sell them for 5, man. Like do a bundle.
mm.
You know,
And
you get you know 15 kids and one football team. Give them $5 tickets, man. That $5 is better than no tickets.
100%. And I think that that's the thing is like, why not get people in there? It's like you have that opportunity. And I think like we see shows, and I feel like EWA, as far as like, it's almost like, you know, it's a family friendly show, but it really sort of skirts that line of you could easily turn it into an over 18 show.
Right.
Is that something that you would think about doing down the line of doing like an adults only
Yeah.
show? Like, is that something that speaks your interest?
Yes, I've spoken about it in a couple of meetings that I've had, and it's really something. Like, can you imagine 500 plus over 18 and fucking anything goes, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about hurting someone's feelings. You don't have to worry about, you know, the 15 kids in the front row, you know, it's just, and it's something that I've been wanting to do. Um, when I'm not sure, but it's on the table, man. It's on the card.
Do you
Um,
think we could be looking at it this year?
yeah. You know, I think maybe towards the end of the year, I'd really, but that's something I'd want to build up.
Yeah,
You know, like really big.
make it matter, which
Yeah,
is
100%.
what
I don't want to
needs
just
to be done. In all
throw it
honesty.
out there and not make sense or, like you said, matter. But I want
Just
to
have
make
it as
it.
like a random show. Like, hey,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like if you know me, man, I'm all about going old school.
Yeah.
You
I think
know,
as well, like for you as well, you're very well planned out with your booking. Like that's what I see. Like we don't talk much about like EWA booking and stuff like that very often, but like from what I've seen of your booking and how you sort of put things together in conversations that we've had on shows and in between shows and stuff like that, I can kind of like see how your booking is very like methodical, well thought out, planned. Okay, this is what I'm going to have to do. Like,
Mhm.
okay, but then also like you have like it almost seems like you've got a plan B and a backup plan just waiting. Where it's like, okay, well that sort of fizzled out. Well, I can bring this one forward now and move this around, and I think that that's what makes it really exciting as well.
Always got to have a plan B, man. Always, like it's you know, if you don't, man, and it fucks up, then you're screwed. You know what I mean? For me, like you said, man, I plan everything to a T. Okay, I'm months in advance, um, because I got dicked around a couple of times, a couple of first two shows that I did.
Yeah.
I had people do no shows. I had people pull out, um, and I was so stressed because it was kind of the first time stuff like that happened. And because it was our first show, and I was so stressed. I promised myself from now on, I'm ahead. Like I know already what's happening after the next show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know what's happening after the show after that.
Well,
You
you
know what I mean?
have
So
to.
along the lines, if one, two elements don't work, then I can kind of work around it because I've already thought of it.
Oh, 100%. But do you see like where would you say EWA, has what do you think the biggest setback you've had with EWA has been so far on this journey?
Um, being new to the wrestling industry, like people looked at us as hey, we're a new Fed. Do we need another Fed? Um, do we? And I'm going to throw this out there.
Mm.
Um, it was talked about that I was giving away free tickets. And let me set the record straight. There weren't free tickets given out. The only free tickets given out were to people who helped
Mm.
with the building of it, just so as my appreciation, my thanks,
Mm.
to them. But in saying that, man, like I was selling VIP tables, man.
Yeah.
Let's throw it out there, bro. Like I was selling VIP tables for X
Mm.
amount of dollars, which covered everything. You know what I mean? And mate, I can go show you the book right now and show you how much money I made. Yeah, the first couple of shows that we did.
Oh, look, man. To me, I'm old school, Osama. You know what I mean? Like the way I look at it, what a man makes, bro, is none of my business. You know what I mean? Like
No, I get that. I get
that's
that.
you know what I mean.
But
Like what I'm saying is like if to give, you know what I mean, like to get that and to have the VIP tables, that was something that you don't really see in wrestling at all. Like at all, you don't see people having tables and VIP tables. That's more of like the boxing scene as well. Like you saw a lot of that, and I understand you've really got the model from that there. Do you think you're going to do consistent stuff like that with the VIP tables
Yeah,
moving forward?
100%, 100%. Because I don't cater to to wrestling fans.
Mm.
Okay, every company out there caters to the wrestling fans. You've got your 100 that go here, go there. You know what I mean? And you kind of get an extra 50 to 100.
Mm.
Wow, you're doing great, right? But you've seen it, mate. My fans aren't wrestling fans,
No.
right? Why
I
cater
mean,
to the wrestling?
I think they're probably more casual fans if they are,
They
like
are.
maybe the
Don't get me
kids.
wrong. They love wrestling, but they don't
Mm.
know that it's out there.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
they're probably not hardcore.
no,
Yeah.
but you'll understand, Piers. Like in my culture, right? Everyone loves wrestling, but they don't know that there's wrestling out there. You understand? So
Yeah.
why do I need to cater to the wrestling fans? They're going to come anyway, right? So
100%.
I go out to the businesses. I go out to the football clubs. I go out to the footy teams, the soccer teams, and I bring all them kids in. And hey, listen, I've got a package for you. 1, 2, 3. That's how I do business. For me, it's business.
That's
You know what I
100%.
mean? I need to make money. I need to make money to put on a great product, right?
Mm.
So, and in saying that, man, like you're not gonna, and you've seen my product. You've seen, our presentation.
Yeah.
It's one of the best out there, and and I'm sorry, but I think it is.
I would agree. I think you're definitely one of the top promotions in New South Wales and
You know what
probably
I mean?
Australia as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and why? Because I've got the financial backings for it.
Mm.
Because of the people that walk in through the door.
Mm.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go out there and fork out. And I'm gonna use it as an example. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go and fork out $5,000 out of my own pocket and not make money.
No.
What kind of idiot does that?
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean? So
it's a
I go
gamble,
out
man.
there, I sell tickets, I make the money, I put on a good product, and I use that money for the talent. Because I can guarantee you, I pay my talent more than every other company out there.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
You can go ask any of the boys, man.
Man, I agree, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I work for you, bro, and every time I work for you, man, I'm taken care of very, very well.
I
You know
look
what I mean?
after everybody. That's me, man. Like, and I said this to you before we did the podcast. I need you guys more than you need me.
I mean,
You know what I mean? So
you
I look
can't say
after everybody. No, but that's how I look at it.
that. Mm.
That's how I look at it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I need the talent. I need everybody to help me put on a good product.
Because, well, that's the thing, bro. If you're a dick to people, bro, there's so many other promotions out there. It's so easy just to say,
Mm.
nah. You know what I mean? Like,
I
but
have to say, yeah.
if you're a pleasure to be around and like, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass,
No,
bro,
no, no.
just because I
And
work
I
for
told
you
you
and
from
shit.
day
Like,
one, I don't want you
yeah,
to.
like I'll be honest, bro. You are a pleasure to be around, bro. You're a good dude. You treat your workers and the people that work for you on your shows very, very well. You take care of them. And to be honest, if you're in the business, you want to come and work for Osama at EWA. And that's what I tell people,
Appreciate
bro.
that, man. I appreciate that, man. And at the end of the day, dude, like I can be a jerk and fucking steal everybody's money.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I can do that, but I'm making money, dude. I'm
Yeah.
making money. I'm making enough to pay my talents.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm making plenty to put on a good product. To have the fireworks, to have the lightings, to have the stage.
Mm.
That's not cheap, dude.
Nah,
That's not
100%,
cheap.
man.
But who the
It's
fuck is gonna go fork out five to 10 grand out of their own pocket and not make anything? You know
completely
what I
agree.
mean?
Completely
Sure, I
agree.
gave out some free tickets in the beginning of the show, like the first show, but they're to the people that I'm saying thank you to for helping me.
100%. And I think,
You,
like, you know what I
you get
mean?
what I'm
Like,
saying?
I think the second show Like I said, hey, I wanted to buy 3 tickets for my boys, for my son, my nephew, and my brother, and you were like, hell no, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're like, man, you're working your ass off. Like, no, fuck,
dude,
just take
dude.
it.
Those 3 tickets for your mate and the boys,
Mm.
that's not going to make me go broke.
No.
You understand? That's
If
not going
I
to make
ask
me
for
broke.
100 free tickets, that's a different
Different
story.
story, dude. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But if you come to me and you tell me, listen, man, I've got 80 people that want to come.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and charge everybody 1, 2, 3. If you get
Mm.
me 80 people, let's work something out, man.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's a big,
I'll help you.
that's a big, amount of people to be at a venue, bro.
It is though, like, but you got to understand, $5 is better than $0.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying to go sell your tickets for $5. No, no, no. You need to make your money. I'm using that as an example. And like, for
Mm.
instance, I'll go to my sister, right? She coaches a football team.
Mm.
I tell her, listen, you bring all the whole team because there's 15 players plus parents plus siblings, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell her, look, instead of charging everybody, adults $20, give everybody the whole team $5 tickets.
Yeah, it makes sense, man.
You know
Plus,
what I mean?
you're putting more asses in those seats. You know what I mean? So why not? But the thing is, as well, those $5 tickets that you give to those 18 people, they're gonna turn around, and it's word of mouth. Those kids are gonna go to school. Man, I went to the wrestling at EWA. Man, it was so cool. And those other kids are going, oh man, I want to go to the wrestling. They go
Yeah.
tell their parents, and their parents look up EWA. Bang, you've got
But that's how
return
it
of
works.
investment, and that's how that word of mouth business happens,
It's got
man.
a turnover.
Yeah, bro. And
You know
like
what I mean?
that's the way you do. It's smart booking. It's smart
And for
organizing.
me, man, that's how I do business, bro. You know what I mean? I got to find a way of getting people in and people invested into my product. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
Again, like, I'm not a rich man, dude. I'm not rich by
no,
any
it's
means.
not, bro.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, dude, you want to work for me, I'm going to look after you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I need you to help me as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that,
You know
but
what I mean?
that's the thing in the business that we're in. It's like everyone needs to be out there promoting. Everyone needs to be helping doing it. Like, dude, every company, whether like if I work for them or whether I don't work for them, if I'm on Twitter and I see a post, I'll share that shit. If I see it on
Yeah.
Facebook, I'll share that shit because it's like my small following. If someone in Melbourne sees my post and decide to check out MCW, or someone sees my post and decides to go and check out EWA or another promotion or whatever it is, and they buy a ticket, and that small little following that I have is able
100%.
to reach people and put them to see shows that their
100%, man.
names.
But the problem is, with every company out there, everyone tries to knock each other down.
Mm.
You know what I mean? While you try to knock everybody down, you're hurting the business in a whole.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Instead of helping each other, I feel like everyone's trying to tear each other down.
I feel as well, like, because a lot of fans go, oh, we should do a big wrestling Australian super show. And it's like, do you know how many wrestlers are in this country, and how many like you couldn't even like you got to think 8 matches on a card, like let's say standard. Let's go 10 matches, right? 2
Right.
people in a match, that's 20 wrestlers. That's like how, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to pull that off without offending someone?
Yeah,
Right?
you
Like,
can't, because there's too many egos.
yeah,
Too
exactly.
many egos, bro. That's how it works.
But also, like, I feel like if promoters start co-promoting as well, they're gonna want their guys to go over, and that's gonna be like,
yeah, but that's why you can't. You know what I mean? Like, when you have people who want to just put their friends on
mm,
and not think of it outside the box, it'll never work.
yeah,
It'll never work. You'll stick to your 50 to 100 that will rock up every show.
mm. And that's the thing, man. I think it's like if you can do something like that's different in wrestling and stand out. Where I think like you look at a lot of like for example, AEW. I know we spoke about it before the podcast, where it's like I kind of feel like they're catering. Like I don't really watch their stuff because I don't really enjoy it. Every time I have watched it, I don't last, and that's not a knock on them. It's just not my personal thing. And
Right.
wrestling's subjective, and my subjectiveness is I don't
Yeah, but you
enjoy
have every
that.
right. You have every right to
100%.
not like something. So you know,
I feel like their booking is like it's almost like their booking is like for a very small uh section of wrestling fan base of the internet wrestling
yeah,
community
yeah,
that
yeah,
see
yeah.
stuff, and you see the tribalism in wrestling on social media where it's like AEW fans are fighting WWE fans. I made a comment on somebody's post where I disagreed with an AEW fan. He's like, you need to give me this point, this point, this point, why? And I'm like, dude, I don't really care enough. I just saw something. I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll chuck in my 2 cents, but like, bro, I'm not going to fight with you over this because you're clearly the guy that sniffed glue back in school. So, like, I'm just going to leave you alone. You know what I mean, man? Like, that's my,
Yeah, yeah.
that's like they're not booking shows for the wider audience. And it's like we said it before. It's like there's booking and then there's writing, and there's
Yeah, yeah.
different. When you have a television show, you can't have a wrestling booking mentality. You have to have a thing which is, as you said, outside the box.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you need to, but yeah.
Yeah, because outside the box, because that's how you're going to bring in new fans. Because if you're not bringing in new fans, you get stale. When you get stale,
100%.
your product gets stale, and you lose people.
Yeah, see that's why I said I don't cater to the wrestling fans. I don't cater to the Aussie market. You know, everyone that goes to every shows. I don't cater to them because I know they're coming anyway.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So why cater to something that's going to be there anyway?
But the
Right?
fact is, they come and enjoy it regardless.
Yeah,
They come
yeah.
and, I mean, like they're not coming. Like,
100%.
you don't see people going to an EWA show and shitting on it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. So it's obviously you're doing something right where you can cater to the non-wrestling fans and also the Aussie fans that you know they're going to be there anyway, but they're still enjoying it. Then
100%.
they're coming back.
And look, let's talk about my next show on February 11th
Please.
at Hertel Entertainment Center, the Marana Hall. Now, people are so invested into this show. Why? Because I'm doing something that's never been done before. What in my eye? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to be that guy that, he thinks he's
There's someone in the comments that's going to challenge you, bro. You know,
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
But please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know,
Cool.
right? But I brought up the Royal Rumble, but I made it at a hardcore Royal Rumble where every entrant that comes out with a weapon that's legal. Okay? And everybody that's registered under the EWA banner, their name gets put into the generator. So it could be you, man.
Nah, you've taken me out of that, bro. Like I told you, I'm not
it could be you. It could be the referee. It could be, the janitor. It could be the secretary. It could be anybody. You know what I mean? But that's the concept that I came up with.
Yeah, it's an unpredictable concept as well. Like it's funny because that got like announced and stuff like that, and then I've had people going like hitting me up, going, "Are you wrestling?" And I'm like, "Bro, like, and they go, but they're hitting me up, going, "Are you wrestling? Please tell me you're wrestling. I'm going to such be a Piers Austin fan." I'm like, "No," I was like, "I don't plan on it. Trust me, I really don't plan on it."
Yeah, but that brings people to the show to think, okay, fuck, is Piers going to get in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has people talking.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. It's
I
very
swear
possible.
to God. I swear to God.
Possible.
Listen, I swear to God. Yesterday, I had two people, fans, ask me if they can be in the Rumble.
I love that shit. I love
you know what I said?
What?
I swear to God, and I'll show you the messages. I swear to God, I said, message the EWA Facebook page.
Yeah.
And let them know that you intend or you are interested in putting your name into the generator.
Really?
Because, I've made it clear that anybody can be in there. So any wrestler that's in Australia,
anyone that works for EWA.
yeah,
Are you talking wrestlers hit you up?
wrestlers in general. Anyone that's worked for EWA is put into the generator automatically, right? But if you want to participate, you put you put your name into the generator box. So that way, if your name gets chosen, you're in. And I had the two fans literally message me, and I told him, yeah, message the EWA group, Facebook, and let them know that you're interested. Then I sent them a message saying, Mr. Whatever, thank you for participating into the generator. Your name has been thrown into the generator. Yeah. Good luck.
But wouldn't it be funny but wouldn't it be funny if like these fans rock up to the show like a couple of hours beforehand, like with their bag and stuff, and just start walking in going, "What's up, boys? I'm gonna work."
But that's what I want.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they go and tell their friends, I might be on the show?
100%.
You know what I mean? Hey, it has people talking, bro.
100%. I'm now just thinking like how there's going to be like a bunch of fans at the show, like hours before.
I don't know. Maybe no one rocks up. You know,
yeah, 100%.
Big chance. But hey, man, it has people talking. You know what I mean? 100%. As long as these fans are happy and content, I'm okay with it, bro.
I absolutely think so, man. But look, I know that our time is coming to a very much a close here, man. You know, that hour has just like gone by so quick.
Yeah,
Mind you, we spoke for like 40 minutes beforehand before we hit record until I said, hey man, we're missing out on some really good content here. So like we started to record that shit. It's funny how many like good conversations I have with people in the business, and then I just sit there and go, fuck, I wish I had a camera and a microphone here for this. Like, because you know what I mean? Like the conversations just are so good. But man, EWA February 11th, Hurstville. Check out EWA's Facebook page for all the details and Instagram. But you know, Osama, what do you think is going to be the most exciting thing about this hardcore rumble? There's never really been done before, as we said about. What do you think that fans can expect from the show?
Okay, so it is for the Lethal Weapon hardcore title. Okay, so our new hardcore title is called the Lethal Weapon. I'm expecting surprise entrants. I'm expecting people you never thought would be on a show. I'm expecting, honestly, brutality. I'm expecting brutality. I'm expecting a whole heap of fun, damage control, chaos, you name it, man. And I can promise you, with everything that I've got, that this is a show you do not want to miss.
Absolutely not, man. Everyone go and check out on February 11th, EWA. It is going to be insane. I'm going to be there. If you're at the show, come and say hi. I'd definitely love it. Make sure you come and say hi to Osama as well and all the EWA roster. We appreciate it. We're definitely looking forward to it. Osama, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, brother. I appreciate you. Everyone else, please, thank you. Make sure to click like, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. It helps with our analytics. Also, make sure you click and give us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms because it helps with our analytics. It helps bring more amazing conversations like this to more amazing people like yourselves. So tap the links and tap in to Piers Austin on YouTube and tap into EWA. The links for EWA are in the description of this video. We'll see you again very soon. Take care. All the best.
Thank you, Piers.
Peace.